We agree, Sharon. Thank you very much. Okay. Second citizen's comment will be Eddie Sechrist. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Okay, good.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak here tonight. The reason why I'm here is I'm very concerned about the integrity of the property and the neighborhood I live in. I grew up in that neighborhood. After my parents passed away, I acquired their home. The neighborhood isn't what it used to be. I live at 5435 Rapid Run Road. My problem is there's other residencies within the area where not only is the property not being maintained, it just continually escalates on a continual basis. One of the problems I have, and I've gone to the Board of Health, I've tried to do everything I can, is continual dog feces on hard surface pieces of, or on areas of the property in question that are never removed, that are never picked up, that just escalate. And if the Board of Health shows up, all they do is hit it with a hose and it goes off the porch onto the ground. I've never once have seen the neighbors pick up any type of dog fecal matter in my life. Also, there's a problem with, I've never seen any picking up of leaves or pine needles. The houses in that area, many of them have been known to flood. Mine never has flooded. I don't mean to be acting like I'm the perfect person, but I keep my drains clean.
But you were lucky.
But I'm lucky. You're right, exactly. But when you don't clean up pine needles and you allow your garbage to accumulate in your driveway, of course, when it rains, and you're going to flood, and then it floods, and then MSDS comes out to this particular address, and then once again, everyone else is paying because we don't have a responsible owner who can't clean their gutters and I'm getting tongue-tied here, cannot clean their drain pipes either. I don't know if any measures can be taken, like bed sheets on windows. I know there's currently no law like that, but it's funny because I own my own business. I'm all over the city of Cincinnati. I show pictures like this over in Blue Ash or Liberty Township, and they laugh. And they say, how did they get away with things like that? And please don't take this insultingly. But then I become angry because I'm thinking, yes, how do we get away with things of this sort? I've always taken pride in this community, and where is the solution lie? Because the Board of Health said there's only so much they can do, and I have to look at this every day, and it only gets cleaned up when the Board of Health shows up. I don't mean to appear sexist, but the owner of this property is a woman. It's not a man, and I think every time someone comes to the property to address the issue, they're talking to a gentleman that doesn't even have any financial commitment to the property or any ownership in the property.
And have you spoke with Tom Stahlhaven?
Yes, and I have pictures here if anyone would like to see
Okay.
them. Continually. Also, there's a problem with like teen behavior. I'm not going to say it's the same address for legal reasons right now. I don't want anything to be construed that could get me in trouble, but I know for a fact that there's teen drinking or booze parties, whatever going on in the neighborhood, and a lot of things seem to be happening within that general vicinity.
Okay. Chief Howard, I guess the first thing on anything like that would be immediately to call the police department. Okay. We do not have a property maintenance code. When you compare us to someone like Blue Ash, that is a city, and they have their own judicial system. We have no way to prosecute someone for property maintenance without going through Hamilton County. And Tom, you want to help me out on this because you're the expert. But I want to recognize your pain and the fact that we're here publicly discussing the fact that no one is taking care
I
of
want
that.
to know, is there a possibility that in the future Delhi could adopt something?
Tom?
Well, to answer that question, you guys can adopt a property maintenance code. We've had these discussions.
At what expense, though?
We've had these discussions, and there is an expense, ongoing expenses involved with number one. Number two, as you alluded to, the problem that we would have with a property maintenance code, property maintenance codes are enforced the same way as our zoning regulations are enforced, and that is, should there be a violation, we would issue orders and thus this, that, and the other. But ultimately, if there was no compliance, our sole resource would be to cite the property owner to court, at which time the courts don't, essentially the worst the courts could do is fine someone. As you recall, we've discussed how dealing with matters that way as opposed to how we deal with nuisance matters, which are written through separate and completely different statutes, that in nuisance conditions, ultimately we can go in and clean the property up and charge the property owner. So again, the caution will always throw to you with property maintenance codes is so many of the complaints that my department acts on today actually are handled through nuisance violations, at which time we resolve them. And any attempt to deal with property maintenance issues beyond our nuisance regulations would not result in the same measures being taken.
I wish I had an answer that would resolve your problem.
Is there,
We're,
oh, excuse
we're,
me,
some,
I'm sorry.
we're somewhat limited in the way we rule with the township as to what we can do. What Tom is referring to is inspectors we've looked at, and we would need, I think at one time you told me, an additional 10 people to go out and work, and that's 10 salaries, 10 everything. And but right now, we're not in a position to finance that, be able to be. So I will keep your complaint. We will follow up with Tom. Tom's got another idea?
I spoke to Mr. Seacrest earlier today, and I asked him if he had talked to the health department, which he indicated just before.
Sounds
that
like
he
it.
had. That's standard operating procedure with complaints such as this. And our understanding was we refer these matters to the health department. The health department comes out, and not unlike us, has varying levels of enforcement that they do. When he had indicated to me that all they seem to do is what was explained to you today, that is not something that I'm of the impression is all that they can do. And for that reason, I would be happy on behalf of your board in response to this complaint to talk to the health department to find out, particularly with respect to this issue, but more broadly with respect to similar complaints, what are their procedures, and is necessary to discuss with them some of the shortcomings of them.
All right. Do you have the same pictures that Mr. Seacrest had?
He hasn't given it to me yet, but
Okay.
I'm sure he.
All right, let's get that transferred. About the storm sewers, Ron, is there anything that can be done on the storm sewers being full of debris and unable to drain?
I think he's referring to the actual house that's.
The house? Okay. All right.
But if you don't clean that, when I inherited the home, my parents told me to always keep that clean. I wouldn't have a problem with my property. But if you're allowing pine needles and you're never cleaning the exterior of your home, then obviously you're going to, not always, I mean, I don't want to point the finger and say it's because, I don't want to put blame or be judgmental, but I think a lot of the flooding that goes on at that particular house is because they do nothing to clean out the drains. And the problem is it's only escalating. It's getting worse and continually cycles, and every year it looks worse and worse. And I'm afraid, now there's broken windows, and I'm kind of disheartened that there's nothing against. I mean, I could have every window in my house broken. Now they've had their garage door broken twice, and it continues to be an ongoing fiasco. It was that way the last time for a year or two.
Well,
It's just not helping my property value or anyone else's property value.
I appreciate you bringing all this to our attention. You've given the pictures now to Tom. You know to contact Jim Howarth with any, let's call it, suspicious teenage activity.
Okay,
All right?
yes.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Okay, that concludes citizens' comments. Mr. Luby, do you have community events?
Yes, I do. The Paddle Pals for Charity quarter auction is tonight, Monday, 24th, 2014, at 6:30. It's at Jim and Jack's on the river, 3456 River Road. This fundraiser event, originally scheduled on Monday, November 17th, 2014, will be held tonight. Auction activities will include a variety of vendor items, split the pot, and a basket raffle. Paddles will go on sale at 6:30 p.m. The auction begins at 7 p.m. Food and drinks will also be available. Proceeds will benefit the Kids, Cops, and Firefighters Holiday Shopping Event.
Isn't that tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
The St. Dominic Girl Scout Troop 40046 babysitting event will be Saturday, November 29th, 2014, from 4:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. It will be at St. Dominic Parish, O'Connor Hall, at 4551 Delhi Avenue. Girl Scout Troop 40046 is providing a babysitting service for parents of the community who need a little time away to prepare for the holiday season. Children must be potty trained and under 8 years of age. Advanced registration is required by contacting Gina Gem by email at gemg@hotmail.com or by calling 317-9800. Proceeds will benefit the Ronald McDonald House. The Delhi Civic Association Food, Clothing, Books, and Toy Drive will be Sunday, November 30th, 2014, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. It will be at the Shiloh United Methodist Church at the corner of Anderson Ferry and Foley Roads. Items being accepted include canned and non-perishable food items, cleaning supplies, personal hygiene products, new or used clothing for all ages, and new or gently used books and toys. All items received will be donated to the Anderson Ferry Food Pantry, located on Greenwell Avenue in Delhi Township. Items can be dropped off at any of the 3 Delhi Township fire stations at any time during the month of November. New this year is a pickup service. You can schedule a pickup on the association's website at delhicivicassociation.org or by emailing donation@delhicivicassociation.org. The Delhi Business Association Christmas Parade will be Sunday, December 6th, 2014 at 9:30 a.m. It will be on Delhi Pike. The parade starts at St. Dominic parking lot and proceeds on Delhi Pike to Anderson Ferry Road. The Delhi Branch Library Open House will be Saturday, December 6, 2014, from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. It will be at the Delhi Branch Library at 5095 Foley Road. Enjoy making holiday crafts and a visit from Rufus the Reading Dog while listening to the New Horizons Dixieland Band performing from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. And other announcements, the community recycling bins on Neeb Road. Please be considerate and do not place recycling materials on the ground outside of the recycling bins. For your convenience, all recycling bins are emptied on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Every effort is made to keep the recycling bins compacted. If the recycling bins are full, please return at a different time. If you have questions, please contact Dan Ryan at 451-3300 or dryan@delhi.oh.us.
Mr. Luby, on those recycling bins, I was shown this evening a photograph of our recycling bins down here at the senior center. Absolutely overflowing, double filled, trash everywhere. Please come back if our bins are full and, they get emptied. Danny, how often are they emptied? Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, we do empty the recycling bins. So we're not asking you to hold on to it for a long time, but the mess that was out there, and on top of that, the windstorm. So please pay attention to the bins, and if they're that full, come back. Thank you.
One more item that's not on the slides. There will be the Delhi Civic Association will have a farewell to the chief. The Delhi Civic Association is hosting an open house retirement party for Delhi Township Fire Chief Bill Zos, who has announced his retirement. The public is invited to stop by the Delhi Park Lodge on Tuesday, December 9th, anytime between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. to both bid Chief Zos a fond farewell and to thank him for the years of exceptional service he has provided to the residents and businesses of Delhi Township. Hors d'oeuvres and soft drinks will be served during the open house. Although reservations are not required, so that the appropriate amount of food and drink can be ordered, the Civic Association requests that you visit their website at delhicivicassociation.org or send an email to openhouse@delhicivicassociation.org to let them know you plan to attend. That's all the
Okay.
announcements.
Thank you. No? Okay. All right. We do have cause for executive session this evening. So if I could have the motion, please, Mr. Luby.
Motion 2014-207 to retire to executive session to consider the employment, promotion, or compensation of public employees and to consider the purchase of property for public purposes.
I move motion 2014-207 to retire to executive session to consider employment, promotion, or compensation of public employees and to consider the purchase of property for public purposes.
Second the motion.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Kluge.
Yes.
All right, everyone. That concludes our regular meeting for this evening. The next regularly scheduled Delhi Township Board of Trustee meeting is Wednesday, December the 10th. Everyone have a very happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you here on December the 10th.